In this Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection news update video, I will be sharing with you a statement Aspyr have released regarding the disastrous launch of the game. Plus, they have actually made some positive changes to the game, and we'll be getting into those as well. But before we do take a look at today's news though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on the Classic Collection. So yesterday was launch day and it was supposed to be a celebration for the Battlefront community, except it was absolutely horrendous. Yes, some people have been able to play the game with very few issues, but still, it has spread like wildfire for all of the wrong reasons. If you have been living under a rock, I made a video yesterday covering most of the issues that have been plaguing players. One of those issues were the fact that the games would end pretty quickly. Each round would take just a couple of minutes due to the low amount of tickets and the high amount of players on the official servers. So you jump into a game, have a small amount of fun for a couple of minutes if the game wasn't broken, and then the match would end and you'd go into a different map and mode. I went to bed last night really disappointed. It was so disheartening to read so many people unhappy with what has gone on, and just yet another Battlefront launch that has failed. But when I woke up this morning, I was pleasantly surprised to jump into a game and find that games could actually last more than a few minutes. They were taking about 8 minutes or so for me. So that is an improvement they have made. They haven't announced this change, but they have increased the tickets across all platforms, so that's good. The netcode still has issues, and that is something that Aspyr are talking about in their statement, so let's go over it. Late last night, they did issue a statement on their support page, and this is what they had to say. We'd like to thank the Battlefront community for their overwhelming support and feedback on the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection release. At launch, we experienced critical errors with our network infrastructure. The result was incredibly high ping, matchmaking errors, crashes, and servers not appearing in the browser. Since launch, we've been working to address these issues and increase network stability. We will continue our efforts until our network infrastructure is stabilised to prevent further outages. They also go on to say, please do report any bugs using their request form, which I mentioned in yesterday's video, and that's coming from Aspyr. So, whilst it doesn't address almost all of the other issues that are plaguing the game right now, the main one being the multiplayer being pretty much unplayable for a lot of people, I'm glad they have actually talked about. They came out and said it could have been done with something a little bit sooner, earlier in the day yesterday, but nevertheless. From what I've experienced this morning, at least on PC and Xbox, there are more servers, the ping seems to be better, and I've not come across the main issues I was experiencing yesterday. I'm not saying the issues are completely gone, there is still hit registration not being great. There is some improvement, and hopefully they are more transparent and continue to give us updates over the weekend and through next week. In their statement, they didn't mention that they are preparing a patch or anything, but I will bring you some good news. In the back end of Steam, they have been uploading new builds of the game for testing and stuff like that, so they are working on a patch, at least on the PC side of things. You can't see this sort of info on Xbox, Switch or PlayStation, so hopefully those also get the same treatment. PC version, I would say, is in some of the worst way though. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, the Switch version seems to be doing pretty well. I would say the PlayStation version, from what I've read in my own comments and across social media, seems to be decent as well for the most part. Less people are experiencing issues there, but Xbox and more so PC have more of the issues. There are so many glaring issues aside from the multiplayer. I know some people have said they don't play multiplayer, so it's not a problem, but there is no Y-axis inversion. The filter for your profile name is weirdly strict, like this person tried typing Jack in and it did not let him use it, which is hilarious. Cutscenes are completely missing at the end of each of the campaign missions in Battlefront 2. People that play single player claim they only care about single player, but don't realise there are issues regarding the main campaign component of Battlefront 2, a mode that so many of us love. It is missing half of the story. There are plenty of graphical issues, controller and mouse issues, things like that. All of these really need to be addressed pretty soon, and there are way more that I'm not even talking about because these are just the more common ones rather than some stuff that does occur less frequently. Following yesterday's disastrous launch, it is now overwhelming negative on Steam in terms of reviews, with just 19% of reviews being positive of over 3,000, nearly 4,000 reviews. The refunds appear to be through the roof, and they really do need to get an update out quick to fix these issues. Myself and other fans have had backlash from some fans because we were complaining about the Battlefront loading screen sound effect and the font and stuff, but stuff like that is really easy to get right, and we have also complained about worse issues like the online not working. These sort of things should be fixed in something that's costing, $30 odd to buy. The originals that cost just a couple of dollars are better in various ways. I've also had comments asking how would they have been able to prepare for things like this. Well, in terms of multiplayer, it's a little bit more difficult because, as we've seen with many other titles, especially big AAA titles with far more funding and developers, they still have issues at launch. But it seems like maybe they didn't have enough time to test this game, given the glaring issues. There was a lot of oversight with things like the loading screen sound and things like that. The Battlefront community is pretty vocal and passionate, and it's a big one, so people will notice things like this. Having, say, a beta or a test with community members, if they had not have noticed these issues before, which I think a lot of the developers probably had seen these issues coming, but they were told to get it out of the door, no chance of delay. I just think having second opinions would have helped. A delay would have been welcomed, in my opinion, if it wouldn't have released like this. Yes, delays don't always fix problems, but it probably would have been in a better state, right? It's just weird to me that they didn't really anticipate just how big this would have been. With just having a few servers, it doesn't make any sense because just how popular the Battlefront series is and how much these classic games mean to people. Even the trailer getting so many views and probably pre-order numbers would have told them this is going to be a big deal. I really wanted to live stream this game and host a custom server for my community last night, but it just wasn't to be. I'm going to try that again tonight because last night I just gave up. There was just too many issues, but like I said, playing this morning, it seems much more stable. It's not perfect and still needs some sorting out, but I'm far more optimistic than I was 24 hours ago. There is one more positive note that will make some people happy. Basically, the mods for Battlefront 2 2005, the original version, actually mostly work with this classic collection. So if you are on PC and want to use mods like Battlefront 3 mods and more, they work pretty easily and seamlessly, so that's good at least. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experience over the last couple of days with me in the comment section below. Like I said, this past few hours and even at the end of yesterday, I saw more people say they actually were enjoying the game because the multiplayer was being sorted out, but still, it's really hurtful that us Battlefront fans just keep getting screwed over, right? Sure, some people have had no issues, but there are plenty of people that are having issues and they can't be ignored just because you only play single player. A lot of people purchased this classic collection for multiplayer. It was a big selling point of this classic collection. You can't ignore effectively half of the game. If you learned something new from this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe so you don't miss any future news updates on this game. If you did miss any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.